What's up, guys? This is Ian here, coach of your Ladner Lantern, bringing you guys our PTL Division 2 Week 1 match of Season 2, of course. We are taking on Trog and the Vancouver Tapu Konucks. Shoutouts to that, because I am from Vancouver. That is what the Surrey Stingers logo is based on, and what the Ladner Lantern logo is based on. Both of them are very close cities to my own, and they have cool alliteration going on with them. So, I'm obviously a big Canucks fan growing up here, and so it's kind of cool to see the Canucks logo designed pretty well as a Tapu Koko, which is kind of weird. Yeah, let's talk about Trog's team, though. If you haven't seen the team builder, you should check that out, but I went over this in the team builder. Landorus-I, Weavile, Azumarill Z user, Rotom-Heat, Amoonguss, Cresselia, Cofagrigus, Tyrantrum Z user, Hitmonchan, Type Null Z user, and Mega Steelix. I wasn't expecting the Tyrantrum, Hitmonchan, or Type Null, none of which came. I had reasons for those three, and I really thought Cofagrigus was going to come because I thought it was a much better... I thought it was his absolute best answer to Mega Lopunny, because if he brings Cofagrigus, I get one hit off on it, and then I can't touch it anymore. Mega Steelix I knew was going to come for sure. I was really scared about Amoonguss, and Amoonguss is here, so we're threatened. Rotom-Heat, turns out I brought nothing to deal with Rotom-Heat, just because I guess I probably wasn't expecting it to come for some reason, which is whack, because it does so much to my team, but there you go. Yeah, so I basically didn't prep for Rotom-Heat, and that's scary. Cresselia I've prepped for extensively. I'm not even worried slightly about Cresselia. And yeah, let's get right into things here. So again, if you haven't seen my team builder, I am a speedy max HP Jirachi with Rocks, Stealth Rock, U-Turn, and Iron Head for the flinching. Assault Vest Blastoise with Scald, Aura Sphere, Rapid Spin, Ice Beam. Mega Lopunny is 3 attacks with Toxic to catch the Cresselia or the Cofagrigus coming in on it with Ice Punch, Return, and High Jump Kick. I'm Scarf Roserade with Leaf Storm, Sludge Bomb, Hidden Power Ice, which was Technician boosted to be able to beat the Amoonguss, Landorus, and the Mega Steelix all together. And Spikes, and then I am a Lumberry, Sword Stand, Strapion with Knockoff, Poison Jab, Earthquake, and a Calm Mind, Leftovers, Physically Defensive Clefable with Moonblast, Flamethrower, Soft Boiled, and Calm Mind. I figured Clefable would be a really solid win con if I could get rid of the Steelix and set up Calm Minds against the Cresselia or the Rotom or whatnot. And I actually still believe that at the beginning of this game, I was like, okay, I just need Amoonguss chipped and Steelix gone, although I do think the Amoonguss is going to have a Clear Smog to deal with my Clef. I just need Steelix gone and Amoonguss chipped, and then Clefable can do some work here. I'm not sure what to expect here. I figure it could possibly be like a Scarfed Landorus. Yeah, he can't really run a lot of bulk if he wants to actually outspeed my... If he wants to actually outspeed my base 100s. I think Salamence is kind of a big threat to him, so it's odd to me that that's the case. Although that's, I believe, why the Weavile is there, is as a Salamence revenge killer. Because honestly, you know, like Lumberry Salamence can kind of set up all over Cresselia and Amoonguss and Mega Steelix. But there you go. He's likely to have Ice Fang on something like the Mega Steelix to cover that as well. So I am just going to lead off with my Jirachi. It made a lot of sense here, and I figured worst case he leads with Rotom, which he does. My thought process here is I can scout out to see what sort of Rotom set he is. It's a roll to kill me with offensive Overheat, and I'm not sure if he would risk that right off the bat, considering I could definitely be Spadef Jirachi. You know, what would go through my mind is I might be a Spadef Jirachi with Ice Punch to be able to eat a hit from the Lando and revenge kill with Shookberry, something along those lines, and a Spadef Jirachi will eat an offensive Overheat. So I'm just going to stay in and go for my Rocks. They're pretty valuable here. They get good chip, break sturdy on Steelix, lots of chip on the Weavile especially if that's a Sash Weavile. Very important. And on the Rotom, it's important to get the chip off on. So he's just going to show Volt Switch, and I EV'd my Jirachi to be out faster than any form of Rotom. So he's definitely a Scarfed variant, which is good to know. And here I'm just going to U-turn out of the Mega Steelix, sort of gauge the damage. He shows to not be super physically defensive and go right into my Blastoise. I get a free Rapid Spin off here. You know, I could have gone for the Ice Beam. I thought about clicking Scald or Ice Beam, but I'd rather not have the Rocks on my side, and I can always switch in Roserade for free on the Amoonguss. As he actually makes a hard double into Cresselia, I wasn't sure what he was expecting there. You know, that is kind of weird to me, that he would go hard Cresselia on the Blastoise. You know, this is definitely going to be his Mega... He has nothing else that checks Mega Lopunny, so this is absolutely his Mega Lopunny check. And so it's weird to me that that is the sort of how things played out there. But because he brought in Crest, I'm just going to double into my Jirachi here. I eat any hit, and we can scout out the psychic damage. It's not very offensive at all. In fact, I gained health back off that. And I go for the U-turn here, which is actually a really weird play that he stayed in. I don't know about that. I am running Toxic, and I was like, okay, well, I can Toxic this Cresselia right here, or I can just U-turn on the most obvious switch into Mega Steelix I've ever seen in my life. And he doesn't make the most obvious switch I've ever seen in my life, so I just get to U-turn into my Drapion as he's going to Moonlight up. That was a weird turn for him to click Moonlight, I think. You know, he was already, 70%. He still could eat 2 returns, so it was sort of odd that he made that play. But I get the knockoff on the Steelix, again, get in Blastoise, and I get to Rapid Spin again. Rotom coming in on the Rapid Spin, I'm not super concerned about. I calced the Thunderbolt damage there, and I knew I was living every single time because we know this is a Scarf variant, and Scald is going to kill him from this range. So we pick up the Scarfer, which is really cool because my Scarfer is not the best of Scarfers. It would have outsped his, but yeah, I have nothing to switch into this Weavile, and he has no reason to not just click knockoff. So I knew I was dying in that knockoff. I still don't know what kind of set this is, but it means that Mega Lopunny can come in for free. Especially if he's banded, he can't touch my Mega Lopunny now. And Cresselia is the thing that comes in on my return. And we see we're doing a hefty chunk there. He's actually not physically defensive. I think I've found out that he's not physically defensive by the damage, which is a little bit strange to me considering this is his main response to a Mega Lopunny. I'm not sure if he actually brought a dedicated response to this outside of the Cresselia switching in, but Cresselia clearly can't take 3, so at this range he can't switch it in again. I was very much considering clicking Toxic this turn, but I figured the risk of him, because I figured he might Moonlight, but the risk of him clicking Psychic was too much, and a Psychic into Banded Ice Shard from Weavile will kill me, and I'm not about that life, so I am going to go hard into Jirachi again. It's a really free play, and this time I'm going to click Toxic. He actually reads me this time as he's going to go into his Mega Steelix and try and get his rocks up, and I'm just going to... I'll spoil it for a little bit here. I'm just going to flinch him a couple times and then get the hell out of there because I'm really scared of Earthquake, and I wasn't scared of Earthquake until I started flinching his Mega Steelix down a little bit. It's a little bit... I get the crit there. It's sort of in my favor. It doesn't really matter because High Jump Kick is going to kill him from this range anyways, but I'm just going to go hard into my Lopunny. Earthquake into Banded Ice Shard will not kill me as he does finally get up his rocks. I was scouting for the Cresselia switch on his Protect there, and then now I'm going to go for the High Jump Kick when it's less likely that he's going to get the second Protect. So that's what was going through my mind 100% right there. You know, almost every team is going to bring a Protect Mon against Mega Lopunny, and that's just kind of the downside of having Mega Lopunny is that you're going to run into Protect Mons. The good thing for Mega Lopunny is that if that's the case, you can run Sub a lot. But the bad case for Trog there is that he had brought in Cresselia before, and so that's what I was expecting. He had conditioned me into Cresselia, and that's why I click Return, because there's no way I click High Jump Kick predicting the Cresselia to come in, right? So, yeah, pretty interesting there, pretty interesting, and it ended up costing the Mega Steelix. So Mega Steelix did nothing but get up rocks, which are only a nuisance at this stage. They're not really necessary against my team. Like, I didn't bring anything weak to rocks. I was just kind of rapid spinning because the chip damage is annoying. But I've got a Magic Guard Mon right here. I've got a 2 resists in the Jirachi and the Mega Lopunny, so it's not a huge deal. Cresselia coming in again, I could just go hard Jirachi. I've shown that this is my switch into the Cresselia. There's no reason for me not to as he Moonlights. I could have clicked Toxic that turn. Didn't really matter. I'm going to click it this turn as he goes Amoonguss. Very easy read for him to make that play. And I don't remember what I do on the Amoonguss. I think I go hard Roserade. Okay, so I'm expecting the Spore over and over again, especially now that I've seen Black Sludge. I'm just expecting the Spore. Because we know that he's not Assault Vest. And I go for the Hidden Power. Him going hard Weavile there actually baffles me so much. There's no way he lived a Sludge Bomb. It's just really weird to me that he would sack Weavile there. Because if I'd clicked Sludge Bomb, I guess his play, and we'll see this later with his Lando set, but his play probably would have been to sack the Weavile and get in Lando, and try and sweep me with Lando, but I don't know if it's early enough to sweep. I don't know. It was very strange in the moment. I was like, why are you switching into Weavile on my Roserade here when... it was weird. Like, I don't understand why you wouldn't just give up the Amoonguss in that case then. Just in case I live a hit with something. I don't know. But I am just going to go Jirachi on the Weavile. scout out. He wasn't clicking knockoff, right? Like, there's no way he's clicking knockoff against the Roserade. He's just going for the kill. And I actually saw his week 2. He played his week 2 battle before this week 1 battle, so I watched it, and I knew he was going to bring Ice Punch because he brought Ice Punch in week 2. So yeah, there's no way he was clicking Crash. I actually see that's uninvested damage, so he can definitely switch up moves, and he baited Band earlier on the Blastoise. Very strange that he's uninvested, or like he's non-boosting item. Weavile, to me, it's kind of screams Sash in the moment, and his Sash has been broken for a while. He is going to crit me with the knockoff here, so that crit matters a little bit, and I'll be honest, it matters quite a bit, actually. In terms of my thought process. It doesn't matter in terms of how the game plays out, but it matters in terms of my thought process. So that was a roll on my Jirachi because I was max HP Jirachi, and he was non-boosting item Weavile. It was a roll. The crit didn't affect the roll. It was a roll either way, but the crit guaranteed that he got the roll. So maybe I can bring it up, actually. I wonder if it's even going to be visible. Oh god, it's not really. Non-banded, level 50, knockoff. I don't know if you can see this or not. Yeah, you can kind of see. You can kind of see it over there. So 76 to 90.8, and I was at 86%. So let me type in 86%. So it was a 31% chance to kill me. So it was actually a roll in my favor to live that knockoff. And I had clicked U-turn, which would have killed him, and I would have been able to get out into something else, and then sack the Jirachi to rocks later was kind of the idea. Sack it to the Cresselia, ideally, probably. Yeah, so you know that sucks a little bit, but it really only changed my mindset and how do I deal with this Weavile. I basically had to bring in my Mega Lopunny here. And what I'm going to do is just click return. I have no reason not to just click return here against the Cresselia. Again, my thought process there is that it's okay that Jirachi died because I still have the Drapion to deal with this Cresselia, as I obviously eat the Psychic there. Now here, okay, so I changed from Crunch to Knockoff, and I'm slower than the Lando and I'm slower than the Weavile. So the problem being, if I click SD, it won't matter. Unless he clicks Moonlight. And if he clicks Moonlight, I just SD again the next turn. So I'm just going to go for a hard knockoff here and get rid of his lefties. It does a little bit more than I was expecting it to do. And I wasn't calculating this sort of thing. And then I'm just going to claim my kill on Cresselia. So he's got no switch-ins to Mega Lopunny anymore. Lando comes in. I'm just going to knock this thing off. Assuming I was kind of just sacking my Drapion here as he actually goes for the Rock Polish on my Drapion. And I knock off his Yachi. It's kind of okay that I knock off his Yachi. It's not really relevant. But Megalop's going to come in here, and he shows off the Psychic. Sad boys. The only reason that Psychic even killed was because rocks were up, I believe. Let me calc it again. I calced it in-game, and I was really sad because he's not Life Orb. He's probably... Well, he might be Rash, actually. He might have been Rash. Oops, that's level 100, level 50. Yeah, so it's doing 92 to 110, right? So again, it's a roll against my Lop spread based on based on the rocks being up, and it was never a roll to kill me as I had taken two rounds of rocks. But had I only taken 1 round of rocks, you know, then it's a roll heavily in his favor, but it's still a roll nonetheless. Yeah, so I completely forgot this thing even got Psychic, or that it was coverage option, but essentially it's going to come down to Clefable here. I knew I lived a Sludge Wave, and Moonblast is a roll, but I crit, so I guarantee the roll. So, you know, we kind of traded the crit rolls back and forth. Weavile's coming in here. I actually clicked Soft Boiled here, assuming he'd choke, because then a Calm Mindset can give me some differential against the Amoonguss, and then he's not going to expect me to be Scarf Roserade. Doesn't click the Ice Shard. HP Ice will kill this, and HP Ice is going to 2-shot the Amoonguss. Now, this is where Technician HP Ice comes in handy, is that it's going to be able to deal with this Amoonguss properly. So, I am perfectly okay with that, although we, retain our reputation of being the 1-0 man from last season, as we pick up another 1-0 to start week 1 in PTL. Absolutely wild. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Scarf Roserade coming in clutch at the end there. That Rock Polish Landorus-I was a really solid set. I didn't think it was going to be that good against me, just because I didn't have a lot of fast stuff that he'd want to outspeed with it necessarily. He already outsped most of my team without a rock polish set. So it was sort of strange to me that he wasn't going for the raw power of Life Orb, because he could have broken through my team with the raw power of Life Orb, and I didn't have switch-ins to a Life Orb Landorus-I set. So it was kind of weird to me that he didn't just roll with that and try and win the game with a Life Orb set and run like Banded Weavile to clean later or something. But yeah, so that's what happened, and we picked up the win. Next week we take on Brett and the Macargo Bread of Eve, looking for some revenge from last season where we lost to him. He's got a very similar team to last season with the Kieran Black, Blacephalon, and Klefki all on the team again. That seems to be Brett's MO, that he just kind of drafts the same stuff because it works, and it's kind of depressing to see the same team every single time, but it works, so I can't blame him. That's gonna be it for me, guys, and I'll catch you guys for week 2.